Hi, I'm Edward Unthank. Let's talk about AI in corporate. What is it actually happening? What are we doing with it? What does the future look like? How does this actually improve our business systems and processes? And what you need is head of applied AI. This is something like an individual role within your company. This is how I'm seeing it. I'm starting to see this pop up more. Instead of just hiring consultants in order to do configurations of any of these things, you end up hiring somebody who is just in AI operations. And this is a person who can go along and figure out where there's potential gains for doing something like an audit of the system. You go through, you do an audit of the system, you shadow the people and of the company and how they're doing things, and you come up with a big list, and then you say, from this person who knows everything about AI operations, who knows everything about AI and applied and best practices, and is keeping up with the weekly, if not daily, improvements that are happening in the AI and agentic space. This is an individual who can take those structures and those processes and then collapse them into repeatable AI modules. Those AI modules end up being things like agentic. There are agents who are being treated as the modules. There are tasks that are treated as the modules. There are projects that are treated as the modules. And there are work streams and workflows and combinations of multi-step processing of, for example, a movement of a campaign brief through the cycle. All of those end up being what the kind of a head of applied AI or AI operations person is responsible for, is they have to bottle whatever we've been doing and bottle it into something that's repeatable and reusable within the company. So that means that this person is kind of like an IT, it's kind of an ops, it's kind of a business ops, it's kind of a BI, it's kind of an everything role here, and it's super, super specialized. It's someone who knows everything about the trends that are happening at this moment, and you need them to constantly be improving. And then you also need this person, the head of applied AI is going to be someone who is an IT aware, dev aware, as well as very aware of what the business process is, the actual business tools that you're actually using within this. And then from that, that's a person who can turn this into a roadmap. The roadmap ends up being an automate certain componentry, automate and set up a maintenance configuration and an ownership, a new process of piece by piece. And so you might say campaigns. We need to make sure that campaigns are fully automated. And so that may be an obvious area of the head of applied AI. You say, how do you do campaigns much smarter, better, faster? The next one that you might ask is somebody in this role is you might be interested in the data operations. Data operations within, for example, marketing operations and sales operations. This could be another piece where you're looking at and coming up with an AI solution for what the data operations is within your marketing and the sales operations tools. And you can keep on going with this. This doesn't end. The next areas that you can do is really obvious is in this sales support. Sales support of AI is a big one. You can do a lot of research and tools, sales tools, enablement tools. This is kind of the world where you can say, wow, you can actually come up with artifacts being not just a deck, but a customized microsite that ends up being published as a .html. And then talking about how does if we're going into a sales call, how do we aim our salesperson to have their own one-to-one joint branded HTML artifact, which is the whole situation, the whole case for what the salespeople is doing. And then you can keep on going. This doesn't end. It just goes and goes and goes. The head of the applied AI is somebody who's on your team and is automatically always looking for an auditing and looking for improvement areas, and also responsible for maintaining the connections as these things are going. That's where, as I say, this is a thing that's getting updated about once a week. The speed of which large language models work what are the newest tools, what old tech companies are coming out with new products that need to be considered and integrated into this world. This is where the really fun part, if you're in marketing operations, this is a fun place to jump into and to add significant value. So, head of AI, applied AI within internal. Head, this of course means that it's not necessarily just a C-level person. It's not a VP level. It's not even a manager level. This just means it's kind of the person in charge, regardless of what the title and role is. Not the title, but the hierarchy level within the organization, as opposed to kind of an implication. If you have a director, then you have managers, and under managers you have individual contributors. The head is really just to say the person who's in charge of it, leading it. It could be also a lead of applied AI, for example. And this person runs AI operations, is looking for improvements, and then rolling them out. So find them, identify them, roadmap solutions, and then those roadmaps also turns into a maintenance. So thank you so much. Edward Unthank here to walk you through a new AI world. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk about this. I would love to talk about how you're actually doing this. This in corporate is kind of a wild west at the moment. So the frontier, that's what the new word is on applying to this. So we have a new frontier of designing what this looks like. And the companies who are up and at it are auditing, road mapping, and then coming up with implementation schedules and maintenance schedules. So Edward Unthank, thanks. I'll see you around.